Hello everyone, welcome back. I hope you are having a good weekend so far and you all are getting ready for the next week. We are on the 14th episode of our series Parenting One Step at a Time, and I hope you all are enjoying it so far. In the previous episode, we talked about the ways you can help your child in language development. We also talked about why it is important for us to teach our kids their mother tongue. Today, we will be talking about something which is one of the ways in language or vocabulary building, and that is reading. Since childhood, we all have heard that books are our best friends. Their company will never make us feel bored. There is no other friend as loyal as a book. As they say, a good book on your shelf is a friend that turns its back on you and still remains a friend. So, in this episode, we will talk on the topic how to inculcate reading habits in your kids, how to make reading a pleasant feeling for them, and how to choose age-appropriate books. Before we get into all that, let me introduce myself to all the first-time listeners. I'm Alpana Dev. I'm a published author of A Girl in the New Town, a blogger at mothersgurukul.com, a freelance content creator, and a mother of two lovely kids who are my greatest source of inspiration for all my parenting posts, articles, and now podcasts. Welcome to Mother's Gurukul podcast. At school, they give a lot of stress on reading, comprehension, and writing. After all, these are the things that actually help kids in long run. I'm lucky that both my kiddos enjoy reading. With our daughter, we started the nighttime reading routine since she was, 5 or 6 months old. The only difference between later stages and then is earlier, she would just look at the pictures and enjoys them. Afterwards, I used to read and she would listen. And later, even if I would read, she used to retell the story, or sometimes we used to do it as a dialogue session. Now she is 11, so she doesn't need my help. In fact, now she suggests me to read her already read books. Well, I have a couple of them in my list. I'm following the same practice with my son, who is 3. We read 2 to 3 books before his afternoon nap and before his bedtime at night. Well, this is all applicable when your kid really likes reading. But there is other side of this too. For some kids, learning to read can be pretty daunting, overwhelming. Putting letters and sounds together and interpreting, decoding their meaning is quite tough. So, how to make it a fun time instead of dread? I'm going to share what we have started with our son now and what we used to do with my daughter when she was of the same age. First, make it a game. Obviously, this is for later stages. My daughter had learned about chunks, the little words inside the larger words. While reading, we used to play a game, like let's find the chunk. Or try a dialogue session. You pick one character and let your kid pick other character from the story. Now, start the dialogues through reading and enjoy the fun. I have found it a very effective way of teaching how to read with expressions. Have you ever wondered why kids enjoy so much at story time? It is because of the expressions, the variation in the tone, the pitch, the modulation, all that makes the story time interesting. And the kids are glued to it. Get crafty. I would say a little bit of craft while reading is not a bad idea. Scrapbook is an ideal example. Think of making a scrapbook of special moments and ask your kiddo to write in their words. And later, make sure to read it together. This is very important. It is fun seeing how their vocabulary grows. You can also try making travelogues the same way. This is for little older kids. For younger ones, make paper bags animal puppets or using the plastic spoons and drawing different characters from the story. Shortened session. Young readers can easily get overwhelmed with long sessions. Start with short sessions. This will encourage them to be more focused and engaged. Make your own picture book. Pictures always attract kids, especially young kids. The fun part with picture books is every time you come up with a totally new story. We all know kids love making stories. This also helps them to think out of the box. You can either make your own picture book or issue it from the library. Join the reading club. Almost all the local libraries have such reading clubs. Find one that suits your child and dig into reading. I've always believed that there is a limit to buy toys or games. They can give the kids temporary satisfaction and happiness. Spending time reading together will not only make children feel good about books, but also increase their reading level by improving their vocabulary and story sense. Reading aloud shows your child what fluent reading is, which makes independent reading easier for them. So, enjoy this time together. This was about how you can develop an interest towards reading. Now, coming to the school-age kids and their reading habits. This includes even the pre-kindergarteners. There is a lot of pressure on kids to be a good reader. With every grade, the expectation bar or the DRA, that is District Reading Assessment level, goes higher and higher. Knowing other kids' DRA, few parents become tensed that how their child will cope up with the DRA level. Well, there is a lot you can do at home starting from a very early age to work on it and help your child get into the stress-free reading routine. Pressurizing your kid doesn't help and it will cause more harm than good. Kids definitely need a very strong foundation. And the good things is it doesn't have to be a complicated process or enrolling them to any reading lessons or reading classes. You might be setting up the stage every day. Now let's see how you are doing it or how you can do it. Making grocery list. Surprised? When your child starts to write, ask them to make grocery list while you finish up the last minute chores before heading out. I used to do that a lot with my daughter. Her typical list used to be milk, egg, bread, butter, juice, gummy bears. Later in the grocery store, she used to carry her own list and read out the items. So what exactly I was doing here? Keeping her busy? Of course, yes, but at the same time, she was learning pre-reading skills. This works great for early readers. Now, my son, who is 3, he has started writing a couple of alphabets. I asked him to prepare his list, and the list has all the alphabets that he knows. Try this out. It's so much fun, reading what they have written and in their cute handwriting. And they take pride in showing the list to you and, carrying that in your pocket and taking it at the time of when you take out your list from your bag. Treasure bag. I came across this game in a book. Pack random objects in your bag. Let your child pick an item and build a story around it. Next, pick another object and continue that story. You will observe that kids build their stories from the books they have already read. And they will realize that how reading can help them in different ways later. It teaches them the basics of storytelling, that there is a beginning, a middle, and ending to every story. This is suitable for little older kids. The younger ones can see how a story can be formed in an interesting way. This game is perfect game for road trips. Use fancy or catchy words once in a while. We usually try to keep our conversation style simple when talking to kids, but it'll not be a bad idea to introduce few fancy and catchy words into your conversation with its meaning. That can be in a simple manner. When they have a strong vocabulary, it is more likely for them to try out new books because they understand the meaning of it. Get into the story. When you read with expressions, your child also starts to develop interest and will see reading as a fun activity. They might pick up the book and start reading it with expressions just the way you read it together. Above all of these, keep on reading. Don't miss any opportunity to spend some time with your child to read together. I have found few of my friends who have stopped or say reduced reading with their kids once they start to read on their own. As long as your kid is okay with you being the reading buddy, don't miss this chance. One very important point is proper selection of reading material plays a very big role when both of you are reading together or when your child is reading alone. What kind of reading material you are providing to your child plays a very, very big role in developing the interest towards reading. When you pick proper age-appropriate books, it also challenges them to try out something new, try out something harder. So how you can decide that which book is appropriate for your kid's age? Choosing books as per age. Children of all ages benefits when parents share books with them. When it comes to choosing books for our children, selection is endless, which makes us confused. Let me help you with this selection. I am sharing what I have learned from my personal experience and through various sources about choosing books for children. For very young kids, maybe newborn to age 3, we usually feel that what is the use of reading to a newborn? They are not going to understand anything. But even infants love the different sounds, tone variations, and respond to those sounds. Publications entitled Books and Babies are good to read to children from birth to age 2. Children aged 2 to 3 like nursery rhymes, picture books about animals, other children and familiar things. There should be a lot of contrast in the illustration as with bright primary colors or simple black and white. The phrases should be repetitive. Look for books with large realistic pictures in colors with limited text. The story should be simple and short if you plan to read it loud. Young ones have less attention span. You can select a long illustrated story if it can be read by the child through pictures. The preschool child. Books help preschool children build foundation that prepares them to learn to read when they are ready. Books that fosters phonological awareness, ability to hear and play with smaller sounds in words, vocabulary, knowing the names of the things, narrative skills, ability to describe things and events in the story, and letter recognition is best suited for the kids of this age. Familiar nursery rhymes and verse, picture storybooks about animals that talk, the world around them, and the children of their age. Concepts book like books about numbers, letters, shapes, colors, alphabets, they are also ideal for preschool children. Children aged 4 to 5 years, they like pictures, always attract children. Books having colorful pictures, a story with action, humor, or a special interest for the child can be a good option. Children aged 6 to 7. By this time, children have become independent readers. Few of them have also started reading chapter books. Every child has a different reading level and interest. Pick a book that will challenge these budding readers and motivates them to read more. Fairy and magical tales, everyday people and activities, or information on animals, nature, science, they can be a good choice for the kids of 6 to 7 age. Children aged 8 to 9. Information books become more popular at this age as child's interest grows. Biographies, tall tales, adventure, simple mysterious attracts them. Collection of stories with short chapters is a good choice. Age 10 to 11. By now, your child is a pro in reading. Your responsibility is to encourage their reading skills, provide them good resources, and give them ample opportunity to explore and expand their thinking. While picking books, keep in mind that don't buy a book just because your child is saying that. Many times they learn about some particular book through their friend. It may not be an appropriate book for their age. As a parent, search for that book online, read the review or the blurb, and then decide if it is a smart purchase or not. If your child is into books, then it is not only a best source of knowledge, but also a lifelong pal. After all, books are the quietest and most constant of friends. They are the most accessible and wisest of counselors, and the most patient of teachers. I hope you liked today's topic, and I hope you would be able to incorporate a few of these tips in your child reading routine as well. In the next episode, we will talk about the art of storytelling. You can be a perfect storyteller for your child. Want to know how? So stay tuned. Till then, happy parenting and happy reading. Bye-bye.